David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Mosted, now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight's breaking news, the emergency playing out. Multiple people rushed to the hospital, hundreds forced to evacuate. The images tonight, the dangerous toxic leak. Alarming video showing a thick cloud blanketing a hotel park.
Wow, what the hell is that? Oh, man.
Lot. Ammonia leaking from a tanker truck. 36 people rushed to the hospital. At least 11 tonight in critical condition, and what we know so far. Also tonight, a beloved football coach and athletic director shot near the football field. Sources say gunfire erupting on a college campus. Images tonight of students sheltering in place. And what we're learning about the coach's condition at this hour. The Epstein files, President Trump pressed today after all of these emails now made public, some of them referencing Trump himself. He was asked why he won't allow the FBI to make the Epstein files public after he suggested he would do so during the campaign. Tonight, there is news on these emails, Epstein calling Trump dangerous, and what else the convicted sex offender said about Donald Trump. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history now over tonight. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers now back on the job. The Homeland Security Secretary handing out bonuses to TSA agents in Houston. And tonight the question, will all TSA agents get that bonus check? And flights in this country, how long will it take? Another 1,000 flights still canceled today. The fallout continues from the shutdown. Tonight, the scary moments from Ariana Grande, a man leaping over a barricade, rushing at her. Co-star Cynthia Erivo jumping in to protect her. It comes after that alarming moment with singer Billie Eilish. What's going on? Tonight, the Major League Baseball scandal, the all-star pitcher accused of pitching into the dirt to help gamblers with their bets. The dramatic rescue, you'll see it here, the man dangling hundreds of feet up on the side of a cliff, his parachute strings keeping him alive for hours. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman falling, rushed to the hospital, what we know tonight. This evening in the Northeast, the largest great white shark was just spotted. The wave of artificial intelligence tonight, the debut of this humanoid robot, but just seconds in, falling flat on its face, where this played out. Also tonight here, a personal note at ABC.
Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. I'm your brother Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson Lord's will is edifying to the Lord's elect. I want to see what that toxic shit was. Toxic leak sickens dozens.
See that unfolded in Weatherford, Oklahoma. This is about 70 miles outside Oklahoma City. At least 36 people rushed to the hospital tonight, at least 11 of them critical. 36.
You know Esau got something to do with that. The man of sin. Whenever it's 3-6, it's all these news stories. When you watch him, he always got some number. Oh, well, it was 6 o'clock on the 6th month, on the 6th day of the week. 666, man. 3-6, 36 people. It just shows you it's Esau.
Condition. Hundreds more were evacuated. The alarming scene overnight, the thick cloud of ammonia gas blanketing the area. Authorities say a tanker truck began leaking ammonia in a hotel parking lot. The truck carrying 25,000 pounds of ammonia. Authorities investigating the cause of the leak. Residents told to shelter in place. Officials now monitoring air quality, and many of these patients, as I said, remain in critical condition at this hour. Trevor Ault leading us off with the images tonight.
Tonight, west of Oklahoma City, at least 11 people in critical condition. Dozens more sickened after a tanker truck leaked poisonous gas in a hotel parking lot.
We just have a huge cloud of gas coming out the west side of the Holiday Inn, is all we can see.
Officials say that white cloud engulfing the cars is anhydrous ammonia gas, spreading through the parking lot behind the Holiday Inn Express late Wednesday night in Weatherford, Oklahoma.
We went back to run out to go, and I see like an old lady coughing, and everybody's coughing around us. And I see the fireman coughing and on his knees, and we couldn't breathe. Like I thought I'm dying. I thought I'm going to quit running and just collapse on the floor.
At least 36 people rushed to the hospital.
There were some serious injuries, and those were meta-flighted to Oklahoma City, and those were the life-threatening.
Joan Escobar says he was treated at the scene.
My throat was getting really swollen up. I held so much gas, you know. It was crazy, man. Never experienced nothing like that. Don't want to experience it again.
Police going door to door, evacuating nearly 1,000 residents into a nearby college sports arena. Another 600 people ordered to shelter in place.
And David, that shelter-in-place order has since been lifted, but more than 70 people needed treatment, and tonight several of them are still in life-threatening condition. David, all right, Trey.
Hey, that's judgment from the Lord, man. That toxic leak. Every day, man, he's doing something. The Lord is doing all this, man. All right. Let me grab that in the book of Psalms chapter 9. Same old, same old. Internet is like, it don't want to mess. It is what it is then. It is what it is. I'm still going to do it. Esau wants to mess with my video. I'm still going to do it. Since since everything's connected, everything's good, but it's slow. Whatever. Psalms 19, verse 16, the Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgion Salah. That's right. As a matter of fact, let me grab this other precept. The Lord does judgment every single day. Every day. Something like that. Not every single day, but every day. I can't think of the precept. No. Let's see, where is that precept? Wicked is snared by the work of his own hands. The Lord judges, I don't know why I can't think of the precept. Judges every day. KJV, something like that. I don't know why I'm barely getting the precept. Yeah, Psalm 7 and 11. God judges the righteous and God is angry with the wicked every day. Yeah, well, that's 7 and 11. Let's go there anyways. Psalm 7 and 11. The Lord implored to defend the psalmist against the wicked. I'll start at 10. Psalm 7 and 10. My defense is of God, which saveth the upright in heart. Yeah, my defense, the Lord defends those he loves, which saveth the upright in heart, which are the elect ultimately. God judgeth the righteous. And I went in that today. Let's look at this word judgeth, because some people think when you get judged, you're going to get put to death. But judge can be salvation. Shapat is not a bad thing unless you're guilty of transgressing his laws. But if you get pardoned, that's a form of judgment too. Vindicating. Okay, let's search up this word, vindicating. Clear someone of blame or suspicion. So that's a judgment within itself. Okay. It's not always to execute judgment in a bad way. It's a good sense. The elect, they want to be judged because they feel like they're gonna beat the case. Okay, we feel like we gonna beat the case. All right, because we're doing the will of the Lord. Now, if we weren't doing that, we were doing the opposite and breaking the law, statutes, and commandments, then we got something to fear. But the only thing we're fearing, our fear is in the right place. It's in the fear of the Lord. And that's what's causing us to keep walking uprightly. God judges the righteous or vindicates the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. I think this is what I was looking for. He's angry with the wicked every day. Okay? If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow and made it ready. He have also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. So long story short, he's angry with the wicked every day. Okay. Psalm 7:11 in the NIV says, God is a righteous judge, a God who displays his wrath every day. And that's judgment from the Lord. Okay, leaking ammonia, I think they called it, to destroy some people, man. They said they couldn't breathe, 36 sent to the hospital. You know, these are the different types of judgments the Lord could do to you. This is why he has many ways to get to you. That's why we don't, this is something to fear, okay? Through the fear of the Lord, we persuade men. KJV, I keep forgetting where this precept is, 2 Corinthians 5:11. That's what it's about. He's known by the judgments which he executeth. Second, terror of the Lord, we persuade men. Okay? But we are made manifest unto God, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciousness. So through these terrors, we understand that the Lord's doing these things, and we shine a light on it. And hopefully it will wake up the elect to want to provoke you to repent and keep his law, statutes, and commandments to the best of the ability so you can avoid these types of judgments. You know, people getting shot, coaches, so much. Tanker truck leak, spews ammonia gas in Oklahoma. I might have to share that video. Russian troops swarm Pokrovos in fog-covered Mad Max assault. Crazy, man. I might have to share this video real quick.
This digital calendar, lightening my mental load, makes it worth it.
I think this is
chaotic scene in Weatherford, Oklahoma. A tanker truck spewing massive amounts of toxic gas in a hotel parking lot.
We just have a huge cloud of gas coming out the west side of the Holiday Inn.
As first responders closed in overnight, dozens of patients in respiratory distress were rushed to a nearby hospital.
In Weatherford, Oklahoma, dozens of people were rushed to a nearby hospital after massive amounts of toxic gas leaked from a tanker truck in a hotel parking lot. Yep, that's judgment, man. He said he said, I don't know how many he said were in critical. But they're there. It won't let me do what I need to do. Okay, whatever. What's this? Parents of road rage. What happened? Vegas restaurant. Implemented explosive device. I gotta see what this is.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Kevin McMahill. I'm the sheriff of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. At about 2:19 this morning, two males dressed all in black arrived at the restaurant behind me known as Piero's at 355 Convention Center. One of them was on a scooter. They got off the scooter, walked up to the front door of the restaurant, and placed an improvised explosive device. That device was then ignited, and after a couple minutes of burning, it then detonated, causing some damage to the unoccupied building at that time. We did not receive any reporting on this device going off until about 10:36 this morning when their cleaning crew came in. That cleaning crew then went forward and notified the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department of a bombing that had occurred earlier that day.
Oh, man. Luckily, no one got hurt, it sounds like. People got this capability. Parents of road rage victim outraged after killer is road rage too. Gotta watch out for all these things. It's this Pentagon preparing for possible military action in Venezuela, sources say. Let's look at that. Look at that.
Take what you do best and create a website that's worthy of it.
Tensions between the United States and Venezuela are growing.
Charlie Daggett reports U.S. forces are getting ready for possible action inside the South American country.
as F-35 stealth fighter jets fly missions from a reopened naval base.
He said weeks ago he was going to send the CIA on the ground over there to everybody, so this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that's watching.
Base in Puerto Rico.
When I mean watching, not watching this video, but watching for prophecy to be fulfilled. A lot of this news is like, this is like old news. This might be shocking news to somebody who just learned it, but he been blowing up ships every single day. He's probably on, I think he's on his 12th boat. He done exploded. If you think he's killing people that are trying to bring drugs over here, you're a damn fool, man. You're a damn fool.
Rico and Marines practice beach landings. Sources tell CBS News.
Don't you think this is World War II? This dude, man, I'm telling you, this is bullshit. There's already reports of the Wagner Group in Venezuela. Okay, if you don't know about Wagner and Russia's, it's a Russian military or like mercenary. Let's look up Wagner as a matter of fact. What is the Wagner Group? The Wagner Group, officially PMC Wagner, is a Russian state-funded paramilitary organization that operates as a private military company and a de facto proxy force for the Russian government. While private military companies are technically illegal in Russia, the Wagner Group has been used as a tool of the state to exert influence abroad with plausible deniability into obscure Russian casualties and conflicts. So that they're in Venezuela. And I wouldn't be surprised if they've been doing this. This is like old news. They just telling you it now. They've been, by the time you hear about what they actually been doing, they've been already done it. This probably ain't no military drill. This is probably a real executed thing that they actually did. And they're just slowly giving it out to the public. Before you even catch up to what's really going on, you're months behind.
Pentagon is preparing for military action in Venezuela. On Wednesday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane presented President Trump with options for the coming days, including strikes inside the country.
He's probably already doing that, man. He's probably already doing it, and this is how he communicates, because this is the devil. You know, they're not going to tell you, just not talk to a liar, man. That's what he is. Liars always, they try to tell you the truth in some wicked way. You got to know how you're dealing with a snake. You got to treat it like that, man. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have no hardcore proof, but just through the spirit, don't think he's going to tell you everything before. He even told the newscaster in 60 Minutes, hey, I ain't going to tell you everything that I'm doing. He said he ain't stupid like that. But he will tell you in an indirect way, because he's estranged from the womb. The wicked go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Let me grab that. Psalms 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. They've been speaking lies since they came out. So they're really good at doing it. But we've been living here so long, you still can't speak their language. That's why it says that in the book of Deuteronomy 28, how you go under a nation, you won't understand their language. You speak English, but yet you don't understand. They speak over you. Like a video like this, you be like, oh my God, we're about to go into Venezuela. They already in there. And that's how they tell you. Okay. Let me control F because I don't know where it is. Let me put tongue. Whose tongue? Whose tongue? Somebody can't give me 1 second. Nope. A nation's whose tongue? No, maybe it's not tongue. Understand. Okay, nothing's popping up. Where is it? I don't know why I didn't pop up in Control F. Deuteronomy 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Let's look this up. Esau never spoke a language we didn't really understand, especially being in the captivity of him. You would have to learn his language. A warning to the Israelites that a consequence of disobedience, God would bring a distant, powerful, and foreign nation against them. The verse uses striking imagery of a nation swooping down like an eagle with a language they would not understand to emphasize the speed, force, and terror of the invading enemy, which historically interpretations often associate with the Babylonian and Roman empires. Let me see what it says about a tongue. A nation whose language you will not understand. This highlights the foreignness and terrifying nature of the enemy, creating a sense of confusion and helplessness for the Israelites. Right. Because Israel's an upright people, but they expect other people to be upright. When you're talking to somebody, you think there's this like universal social norm where we all, you're upright, or you would at least somewhat be upright, not fully 100% wicked. And that's what Esau is. People lie all the time, but not at the level that Esau does it. He's born from the womb speaking lies. He's always speaking lies. Okay? So don't think his propaganda he's not hitting you with propaganda.
The largest aircraft carrier in the world, the USS Gerald R.
Why would he say that? Why would you bring the largest aircraft carrier in the world for a drill? All this money, taxpayer money to move this big ass elite ship from one place to another is not going to be used for no reason, man. This thing can last in the sea for 60 years. The testing and all of that it's already done. It's deployed for a reason. Okay, it's put in position so it can strike something. It needs to make an investment on its movements. It's not gonna just be sitting there. Nah, they're gonna make it work. They'll put it in position. They'll negotiate. You don't want to talk. Next thing you know, you got flying eagles in the airspace.
Our Ford will soon join several other warships in the region. One of the stated aims, take on the government of President Nicolas Maduro because of his suspected links to the drug cartels. So far, the U.S. military has destroyed 21 boats allegedly smuggling drugs, including one just 2 days ago.
If you're trapped, just because you show pictures of boats blowing up doesn't mean that's what he's actually doing over there. Stupid. You're not sitting down with this. All I know is he's the damn devil.
Trafficking drugs to poison the American people, and we know you're from a designated terrorist organization. You're a foreign terrorist and a trafficker. We will.
What are you, Esau? What are you? What have you done? The damn devil's policing the whole earth. And he need to go into jail for the things he's done to the nation of Israel. Don't ever forget that. I don't care what he's talking about. He's lying.
Find you and we will kill you.
In Venezuela, the Maduro government is preparing for a possible invasion. State TV.
Yeah, this is a test drill. Let him tell it. Yeah, they're just running into the helicopters and grabbing guns for fun. They're not really real. They're shooting blanks right now.
TV showing a military mobilization. On 60 Minutes, Nora O'Donnell asked Trump about Maduro's future.
On Venezuela in particular, are Maduro's days as president numbered?
I would say, yeah. I think so, yeah.
And this issue of potential land strikes in Venezuela, is that true?
I don't tell you that. I mean, I'm not saying it's true or untrue.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm not saying it's true or untrue. You can see it in his eyes. He's already all way up in there. He's probably already got his hands on what he been already had gotten what he wanted, because Maduro was already talking about giving him the keys to the fucking whatever he needed. So I don't even understand why this is even being. It seems like this news is late. This came out today, 4 hours ago supposedly. I was watching shit like this a couple of weeks ago. 60 Minutes was November the 2nd, and this is the video I was referring to. It's like they're using old news, man, hitting you off with the same shit. They probably like, this shit ain't even got that many views. Let's refurbish it and put it back out there. Only 1,800 views. CBS Evening News. Because the majority of the time we get our news from different sources. It seems like they're just chopping it up and just sending it back out. See how many views they can get.
Well, tonight, the Defense Secretary put a name to the military mission, Operation Southern Spear. The aircraft carrier Ford will join.
Oh, shit. Operation Southern Spear. Sounds like Kane to me.
That mission early next week when it enters the waters of the Caribbean Sea.
This is Felix.
Let me show you what I'm talking about. Genesis chapter 4. I was just thinking about this today. Let me jump down. It says, Genesis 4, verse 17, and Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch, and he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. That's what Esau likes to do. Call the name of the city after his own son. America's named after a damn Edomite. Africa named after an Edomite. All right. He wants to take the commanders. He wants them to be named after him. Spirit of Cain. But when you look at Cain's name, right?
Strong's H 7014. Cain.
Cain. It says Cain equals possession. When you go into the etymology, it goes into a spear. Okay, southern spear. So you know this is Esau, knowing who with his biblical. He knows the spirit that he's in. He knows he's Cain. He knows he's the devil. He knows he's the serpent. He knows he's Esau, Edom. If you have the spirit, he knows what he's doing. He reveals it to you all the time. But you can't accept it because why? You're a fool. Point I want to bring this out is Genesis 4, verse 22. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. Now let's look at Tubal Cain.
Strong's H 8423. Tuval Cain.
Okay, let's go into this etymology. To bring, lead, carry. Okay, let's do H2981. Produce fruit, produce of the soil, increase fruit. H7014. Cain, meaning possession, which matches up with Cain, but Tubal Cain, thou will be brought of Cain. Smith of scoria. Scoria of metal, the genitive. So we know Cain goes into spear. But Tubal Cain, son of Lamech by his wife Zillah, and the first worker in metal. Tubal Cain, thou will be brought of Cain. Yabal means bring. To be born to the grave. To lead. Oh man. The reason why I'm thinking of this earlier was because crop figuratively wealth. Your ball. Etymology, H2986. Okay, to lead, conduct. So your ball means, I guess that's where they're getting to ball. Thou will be brought of Cain. Let's see what this means. Let me see if I can just search this. To ball. Relating to or occurring in a tube. Tubal can refer to a surgical procedure to prevent pregnancy called tubal ligation, which involves tying off the fallopian tubes. Wow. Just like Caesar. Caesar's known for C-section. It can also be an adjective meaning of us relating to a tube. Tubal meaning in Hebrew refers to a grandson of Noah, son of Japheth. No, that's not what we're talking about. The name Tubal-Cain, who was skilled metalsmith, leading to interpretations name meaning to bring forth, produce. Okay, that makes more sense. That's what it means to lead, to bring forth. So to bring forth the spear. And it made me think about that is when you go to the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. I didn't grab a news article, but Marco Rubio on Russian sanctions. Let's see what he says. 8 years ago, 21. U.S. sanctions on Russia running dry. Rubio sounds alarmed. Let's see what Rubio has to say.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Secretary, on Russia's sanctions, to what extent did it come up, like to further strengthen?
Well, there's not a lot left to sanction from our part. I mean, we hit their major oil companies, which is what everybody's been asking for. Obviously, those have to be implemented.
So there's nothing that you could do with Russia, pretty much. He done hit them off with all the sanctions that they could have done. And there was a huge Russian attack just like yesterday. All right. So, put the pieces together, people. World War III is right around the corner. Sanctions are not getting them to the negotiation table to stop this war. Okay? He's sending troops over there to Venezuela where Trump's supposedly bringing people at. He's attacking Ukrainian sites and things like that. Russia on Ukraine. What does that mean? More people need to invest. Ukraine says 300 Russian soldiers in Pokrovsk 2 days ago. Double blow to Putin. Ukraine strikes deep. Zelensky on Ukraine air defense weapons. Trump frozen Russian assets and Putin. This is probably something we want to watch.
President Zelensky, thank you so much for taking the time for speaking with Bloomberg yet again.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to begin by taking a step back. You've now been at war for 3 years and 9 months almost. There is a lot of concern. Each of those days is measured in lives, in resources. There's concerns that it's now a stalemate, a forever war. Now, today, on day 1,357, from the United States and from Europe, what do you need to meaningfully change the course of the war?
Thank you very much. Not to lose your support, not to lose unity between the United States and Europe around the Ukrainian question, first of all. What we need between us, yes, long artillery. We really need. There's a big deficit on the front line. I mean, during this war, it's not the question of this day, it's a question for this war. And of course, we need air defense. We're thankful for program Pearl. We're thankful to President. Yes, and this is very important. He opened this corridor that we can buy. By Pearl, we can buy air defense. I mean, missiles, PAC-3. First of all, PAC-3. And of course, systems. With systems, it's difficult because it's always the question of time. Yes, but we can't wait because.
Listen, they've been sending this nigga mad shit, and guess what? Putin's been blowing that shit. As soon as they set it up, he's been blowing it up. That's what's been going on over there, because they've been getting shit over there. They can't set it up. He's whipping Ukraine's ass.
And it'll take some time to begin to feel it, but
It'll take some time for them to feel it. They've been on the sanctions for years. And what do? They have a roundabout. They've created a system where they can operate without American intervention.
I mean, I don't know what more there is to do. I mean, we're running.
You're going to have to fight, all right? If they're not listening to you, now you got to pull out your sword, but guess what? His sword's bigger than your sword. And that's why I was getting into Tubal Cain, because Cain, yeah, he's a spear, but Tubal Cain, he going to bring the spear too. And what made me think of that is the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, where it talks about Meshach and Tubal in Ezekiel 38. That's at the top. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Okay, so Gog is a him, and it's talking about the prince of Rosh when you look into it. A prophetic prince of Rosh when you go into Gog in the blue letter. Okay, Gog, mountain, the prophetic prince of Rosh, Meshach and Tubal and Magog. Okay, but Meshach and Tubal, when you look these things up, let's look it up. It gives you a map. Russia, Gog, Magog, Gomer, Togarmah. Okay. Meshach and Tubal are mentioned in the Bible as descendants of Japheth and are associated with ancient peoples in or near modern-day Turkey and Caucasus region. They are frequently linked to Gog and Magog in the prophecies of the book of Ezekiel, which foretell a northern confederacy that would threaten Israel. Biblically, they are also described as traders involved in exchanging slaves and bronze vessels. And I love how they give this depiction here. You got Eastern Europe, you got Turkey in here, but I'm looking for an ancient map. Let's look at some maps of Meshach and Tubal. No. Maybe images. Okay, this is a good one. This is modern day Turkey, Tubal and Meshach. Let me ask Google a question. Does Russia and Turkey share a border? No, Russia and Turkey do not share a land border, but they do share a maritime border in the Black Sea. The two countries are separated by Georgia and the Black Sea. Land border, Turkey's land borders are with Bulgaria, Greece, Georgia, Armenia, Iran, Iraq, and Syria. Yeah, they're way too far away from each other. But I was looking up. So basically, prophetically or geographically, Russia and Turkey are not near each other, but they're going to share a common, they're going to be working together against America and Israel. And that's what Ezekiel 38 gets into. Ezekiel 38:4, I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth, and all thine enemy, horse and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them, so like you're handling swords. All right. Then it goes Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Persia's the Iranians, Ethiopia, Kush, African allies, and Libya, North African nations, all of them with shield and helmet, so they're going to be ready for battle. Gomer and all his bands, Gomer with Eastern Europe, Turkey. Gomer's Turkey and all his bands, and the house of Togarmah of the North Quarters and all his bands and many people with them. So Togarmah and Gomer, when we look at the map, it was saying how that is pretty much different different places in that area. Okay. Let me go back one. Yeah, so that was Japheth's lands. Togomar would be in Tubal, Gomer, Magog, Meshach. This is the map I was looking for. Pretty much all in this area. Okay, Magog. But when he says I'm gonna stir up the spirit of the Medes, it's actually talking about, because let's see if we can see the whole map. The following article represents a partial catalog of support for the view that the Magog, Meshach, Tubal, Gomer, and Togomar are primarily in Asia Minor or modern-day Turkey. First below is the map. All right. So those places were in modern-day Turkey. What's this map? This map is showing me. What the hell, man? I'm not trying to go on Facebook. Oh, so Russia, Georgia, they don't share a border now, but I think they once did. So look at that. How about we rephrase this question? Did Russia and Turkey share a border? No. I said did. Did Russia and Turkey share a border during USSR? Yes, the Soviet Union, USSR, shared a long land border with Turkey during its existence. So that's what the Lord's doing. So that really connects Meshach and Tubal right there. Okay, showing you that it's the Lord. It's like stirring that spirit that was in that land back up with these nations. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the North Quarters. Now that's what I was looking at. The house of Togomar of the North Quarters, because this map over here was saying, this map is saying Togomar is Turkey, but our elders told us it's Gomer is Turkey and Togomar. You know, Ethiopia, Libya, Russia, Iran, Turkey. But this is even saying Eastern Europe. I never heard that. I don't know where they got that from. Gotta redo it. I'm trying to think of any allies in Europe, because we know they're gonna switch on the whore according to Revelation 17. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns, which represent the European Union, thou sawest upon the beast, which is NATO. These shall hate the whore, which is America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay, that's sending nukes over here to America, and probably over there in the Valley of Jehoshaphat too, because they're gonna switch up on the whore. But don't quote me on that, because I need to go over this verse again, because what I know is Gomer's Turkey, but I don't know how brothers break down Togomar. I think they say they both Turkey, but I don't know how they break that down. I'd love for the brother to do that again.
Out of things to sanction in that regard. Well, Shadow Fleet is an enforcement mechanism, and obviously sanctions have to be enforced. So, we don't put sanctions in and not enforce them. We're interested in enforcing them as well. So, but that's more of an enforcement matter. And Shadow Fleet has come up because I do think there are...
Shadow Fleet. Let's see what Marco Rubio's talking about. What is shadow fleet that Marco Rubio's talking about? The shadow fleet Marco Rubio is referring to is a network of Russian oil tankers used to bypass international sanctions and illegal transport oil. These ships often operate without proper insurance or identification, switch off their tracking systems, and conduct ship-to-ship transfers, which increase the risk of maritime accidents and oil spills. Rubio views enforcement against this fleet as a necessary step to ensure existing sanctions are working, and he has urged European countries to take a more active role in stopping this fleet, as many of its activities occur closer to Europe. Why would Europe do that when they probably benefiting from this too? You see, they're not gonna be working with Esau, man. Nah, I didn't see anything. Nope. Nah, they need that. They need your support, and they need the support of Russia in order to survive. They don't have any natural resources. So they're playing that middle ground, but eventually they're going to turn around and shoot fire on the whore.
There are things that the Europeans
And if you're looking for your allies to help you out in these days, man, you clearly don't read your Bible.
can do on shadow fleets, since a lot of these are happening in areas much closer to them.
Mr. Secretary,
Yeah, so if you leave it up to them to do all of that, they're not going to do it. It benefits them. Okay, so that's why Russia's able to bypass these sanctions, be able to pay for this war. They got support from your allies. They need that Russian oil. That's a huge issue, and that's going to be the reason why they continue to fight. They can't cut off his supply line. What these nations like to do is, especially with smaller proxy organizations, they cut off the flow of however they're getting their money. And that alone stops them from actually putting up a fight. But they can't stop the Lord's will. Okay, he set it up geographically, economically, he set it all up where it benefits them to go against the whore. And eventually they're going to team up with the other side and switch up on the whore, like it says in Revelation 17 and 16.
Mexican counterpart.
Yeah.
And you've talked about Mexico.
Going into Togomar and Gomer. Gomer is Turkey, Togomar. All of these, Gog, all of that, Tubal, it's all in Turkey. It's just that whoever would because everyone's moved and not in their proper place, the Lord still got that same spirit on specific people to do the same will. He has them set up like that. He putting them spirits on people to move in a way that is going to bring forth prophecy. These different ancient alliances, he's putting these spirits on these different leaders to bring forth. Because Esau, Putin, God, he might play the role of God. He's an Edomite. He's not a descendant of Japheth. The Lord's just putting that spirit on him because he's occupying that land. In those same type of alliances that were of old, the Lord's using those same alliances in this time to bring forth that destruction that he was prophesying about.
Helping more than ever before. There's been a high-profile assassination in recent weeks of a mayor of a town in the state of Michoacan in Mexico. How concerned are you about Mexico's public security situation? What more can the U.S. do to help Mexico to take on the scourge of the cartels and violence?
Well, we're willing to provide them any help they want. Obviously they don't want us we're not going to take unilateral action or go in and send American forces into Mexico. But
that's the spirit. There's 144 likes on this. I'm going to leave that alone. I was about to like it, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to share this.
But we can help them with equipment, with training, with intelligence sharing, with all kinds of things that we could do if they ask for it. They got to ask for it. But
yeah, you're going to share them with all this intelligence, and it's going to be used against you. Esau's not in a good position to win, man. The Lord got him in a snare. Everything he does is just it's going to collapse on it. What are you going to do? Send your troops over there to make sure it's going right, just like you did in Gaza? Or I want to send 200 troops over there to make sure that the peace deal is going all right. Let them do that. Nope, I got to send my own troops over there. So he don't even have, they're going to be spread out all over the place. All right, let me make sure this is going on. I got to micromanage everything. And when you micromanage, let's look at some the disadvantages of micromanaging. What are the disadvantages of micromanaging? Micromanaging has significant disadvantages, including decreased employee morale, trust and productivity, as well as stifled creativity and innovation. It can lead to higher employee turnover, burnout, and a toxic work environment, ultimately harming the organization's success, which would be Esau's kingdom. The constant scrutiny erodes an employee's confidence and sense of autonomy, while the manager often gets bogged down in tasks, losing sight of the bigger picture. And that's exactly how the Lord's going to have him do it. Because he's not fit to rule.
Look, you asked about one mayor. It's not just, there's been other mayors. There's been journalists. There's been politicians. There's been judges. These cartels are very powerful. I mean, one of the things that no one is discussing enough is the rise of these transnational terrorist organizations. And just because they're not ideologically driven does not mean they're not terrorists. You don't have to be ideological to be a terrorist. And they're terrorists because they possess, in many cases, more weapons, better training, better intelligence, and more capabilities than nation states do. In the case of Ecuador, these terrorist organizations are threatening the Ecuadorian state. I mean, planning IDFs and attacking, planning IEDs and attacking.
We just had an IED. Just in this video, I just found someone planted an IED set in an abandoned building. I didn't listen to the whole thing because there's just so much going on. I know the Lord got something more important than an IED that went off in an abandoned building. But U.S. sanctions on Russia running dry. Rubio sounds alarm. Okay. Long story short, I shared the video if you want to finish watching that. Zelensky too. 17 hours ago. I gotta keep this. I might have to share this too. Spirit, this is 6-3.
They attack us, okay? And we began to work on the interceptors, drones, interceptors. We have our production, and by the way, good production. American-Ukrainian production, co-production. I'm happy that we have co-productions already. Yeah. We started this, but
And he gonna switch on him too, I believe. I wouldn't be surprised if he gonna get into I think what's gonna happen, how the Lord's gonna use him, he gonna get him into the NATO or the European Union. And then that's gonna be counterintelligence that's gonna be used for Russia to know everything that you're doing. It's all part of the plan. I'm just throwing that out there. It's probably not true, But it's a big issue with bringing Ukraine into the European Union, bringing them into NATO and stuff like that. And it could be an intelligence issue. Because the more people you bring in, especially this late in the game, man, you got to worry about leaks, people sharing information. And that's the last thing you need is a rat within your circle. Especially a rat that you're paying fucking mad money for, and he's a double agent. So through the Spirit, I believe something evil gonna happen, and it's all to fulfill prophecy. Okay, it just seems like everything's primed for something bad to happen. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. And he's the same person who told you that, this war's going to come to you. When he first came to the U.S., they were sitting down, him, J.D. Vance was yelling at him, how dare you come here and say this, that, and the third, and not wear a suit, and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, America got, you mad far away from the war, but eventually it's going to come to you. So he told him straight up that it was going to happen.
I hope that in future we will have more. So I think air defense number one, long artillery, as I said, and of course, if you will ask me what can change, yes, we need long range. Yes, we need long range. Somebody, by the way, I had a conversation with Santos, as you mentioned at the very beginning, and bipartisan support. We are thankful, but we spoke about Tomahawks, for example. I said it's not only about Tomahawks. There are some similar long-range things, important, very important things. Look, there are military targets on the territory of Russia which have huge air defense around, because they need to save. That's why it's not enough to have drones. We need, some other package. So if we want to answer, because they attack us and we have to answer, that's why we raised this topic with American side.
Another time.
Well, he's already given you these things and it's not working. Let's see what it says here.
When I missed 3 new...
This is an hour ago. An overnight Russian drone attack on Kiev wounded 9 people and damaged buildings across the city, a senior official in Ukrainian capital said. As a matter of fact, I care about that. He just did a major attack. I don't know. Damn, this is Ukraine says Russia is recruiting African mercenaries to fight in its war, going back to Ethiopia. Okay, where does it say that? Ezekiel 38th chapter. Ezekiel 38. Persia and all his bands, and Persia, Ethiopia, Libya. With them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So you're going to be a guard with these nations. All right.